A typical walk through the eucalypt forests that lie peppered throughout the suburbs of Brisbane is unlikely to yield much in the way of wildlife aside from the occasional lizard or scrub turkey. That is, unless you decide to pause in your wanderings and attune your eyes to the smaller, finer details of the landscape. A tree trunk shrouded by the broad, fleshy leaves of a parsonsia vine reveals itself to be a multi-layered metropolis for many of the smaller inhabitants of the forest. For insects of all kinds, it represents both an abundant source of food and a place in which to seek sanctuary from predators. A little grasshopper basks in the sunlight, relying on its cryptic appearance to keep it hidden in plain view. Much more conspicuous is this Amarilla crocori moth, resting motionless as it waits out the remaining daylight hours. This is a male Acropisa reticulata, one of Australia's most remarkable insects, and nearby, a female. Hunters, too, seek shelter amongst the foliage. A young Holconia immanis, just a few centimetres across, already bears the scars of a tough life, sporting multiple missing or partially regrown legs. Thankfully for spiders, the loss of a leg is merely a temporary inconvenience, and if this youngster survives the next few months, it will grow into one of Australia's biggest and most impressive huntsmen. A miniature frog, Rhinoidea gracilenta, also finds sanctuary here, sitting perfectly still and well camouflaged against the vine's vibrant green leaves, with only its eyes giving the game away. But of all the denizens of the undergrowth that have staked a claim to the prime real estate offered by the vine's luxuriant foliage, few are more otherworldly than this. At first glance, it may appear to be naught but a sliver of dry, withered plant matter, swaying lifelessly in the gentle afternoon breeze. But it is in fact one of the forest's craftiest and most intriguing hunters. Meet Asianopis subrufa, the net-casting spider. Why it's called that is hardly evident during the day, for like most of the small animals sheltering amongst the vine's leaves, she's merely waiting out the remaining hours before sunset, and relying on her superb camouflage to avoid drawing too much attention to herself, while sharp-eyed daytime hunters are on the move. But as the sun dips below the horizon, and the nightly ensemble of insects and other small critters issues forth from their hiding places, Asianopis springs into action, and begins to construct her signature weapon, one of the most unique wielded by any spider. It's a strange rectangular web, made of a fuzzy form of silk known as cribellet silk. Unlike the webs of more familiar spiders, like orb weavers, whose effectiveness at prey capture stems from the presence of tiny droplets of glue scattered along each thread, cribellet silk isn't coated with adhesive, and instead owes its ability to ensnare prey to its fuzzy texture, which makes it incredibly easy to get tangled in. Having completed the web, Asianopis now positions itself face down, holding the fuzzy silken rectangle between its front legs. Now, it's a waiting game. Most spiders wait for prey to bring themselves in contact with their webs, but Asianopis brings its web to its prey. Any potential victim ambling about on the moonlit forest floor, blissfully unaware of the sinister threat patiently observing it from above, will be seized and trapped in one swift stroke, as the spider stretches out its silken snare and plunges it upon its target. With the prey instantaneously entangled in the fuzzy webbing, the hunt is over before it even starts. But to smite its quarry with such speed and precision, Asianopis needs powerful senses. Like most spiders, Asianopis possesses 8 eyes, but one pair, the posterior median eyes, are enormous. Indeed, these spiders have the largest non-compound eyes of any arthropod, and they are approximately 2,000 times more sensitive to light than our own photophores. In terms of their ability to make the most of the limited light available during their period of activity, the eyes of Asianopis outshine even those of cats and owls. If the incredible eyesight of Asianopis didn't already stack the odds against its prey, they, like many spiders, are also highly attuned to vibrations, and are more than capable of detecting a target lurking outside the range of their vision. But being equipped with supercharged eyesight has its drawbacks, which become readily apparent when the morning arrives and sunlight trickles through the open canopy to flood the forest floor. With its moonlit hunting field now bathed in the rays of the rising sun, the incredible sensitivity of its eyes becomes something of a hindrance for Asianopis. But the spider has a rather radical solution. It digests its light-sensitive retinas, effectively rendering itself blind, and then proceeds to regenerate them anew as the day grows old, and in the lengthening shadows, Asianopis readies itself to return to the hunt once more. Asianopis, however, aren't the only net-casting spiders that can be found here in Australia. Rather less well known are the members of the genus Meneus. Like Asianopis, they are by no means exclusive to Australia, with a multitude of species occurring abroad as well. One member of the genus, native to the land down under, has been named Meneus aussie. Like, I'm not joking, that's its actual scientific name. But in a world where a species of wasp was genuinely, scientifically named aha ha, I guess Aussie is relatively tame as far as unorthodox species epithets go. As you can maybe tell from this extremely crappy footage I shot at Kuranda, Meneus hunt in the same manner as Asianopis. But there is one key difference between these spiders that this shocking nighttime camera quality doesn't quite convey to the viewer with any modicum of clarity. Meneus lack the iconic giant eyes of Asianopis and the closely related Deinopidae from the Americas, with its posterior median eyes instead being of comparable size to the rest, which makes it pretty easy to distinguish the two genera of net-casting spiders that can be found in Australia. The one with Asian in its name can be identified on the basis of its extremely large eyes. Ironic. Hey, I can say it. Even so, smaller eyes don't seem to be much of a hindrance to their hunting prowess. The eyes of Meneus are, predictably, less sensitive than those of Asianopis, but they are by no means non-functional, and as aforementioned, these spiders have more ways to perceive the world around them than eyesight alone. Net-casting spiders are none too easily spotted, with their nocturnal habits and exceptional camouflage, so it can come as something of a surprise to find that should you be in the right place, they can be very prolific. And if you'd like to see what I mean by that, then feel free to check out these videos in which I find a multitude of netcasters as well as many other denizens of the night. And if you want to see some of the other incredible spiders that Australia has to offer, then this video recounts some of my more momentous encounters with these eight-legged extraordinaires. Thank you all very much for watching. That's it from me. Good night, or whatever time of day it is for you.